We actually have Purple on the line here so we can see what he thought about this match here. Purple, can you hear us?
Yeah, what's going on, boys?
Hey, man, congratulations on the win tonight. I'm not 100% on this, but I think that may lock you up for the playoffs here tonight. So is there any chance we see anything like fun from you going forward if you are officially locked? Or are you going to treat every match the same going forward?
Freeze Mage is fun. Freeze Mage is fun, Rogue is fun, and Flare and Hunters were really fun.
Yeah, that did actually look a little fun. I mean, maybe something a little off the wall, which for you, that's like way left of center because, you do have stuff like Flare in your Hunter decks. Now, you did that. You had Flare in your Hunter deck tonight. Was that something you knew you were going to get Ek0p with?
Ek0p plays a lot of Zoo and he plays a lot of Hunter. And the build that I was playing for the Hunter was really good against Zoo. And if I queued the Hunter mirror, I get a Flare, so I get like, I'm just a bit ahead. So that's just a nice tech addition.
Now, we haven't actually seen you play that much Rogue in this season. Aside from the match versus Muzzy where you hit it 4 straight times, it's been a pretty scarce pick. But you being the person who's read so much into players' ranges and exactly how they're going to queue up, we've seen it over and over again. Players go to their comfort picks when their backs are against the wall. Talk to us about this series, and did you expect Ek0p to go with Warlock in Game 4?
Yeah, I was. I actually was gonna go Freeze Mage again because that's the closest thing to a free win. But I was like, I really don't want to sit here and go in another 30-minute fatigue game against Patron. So I was like, all right, let's just beat him with Rogue.
So the deciding factor is quite literally the amount of time it would have taken to play the game.
I just came up with the effort into going all the way to fatigue again. God, that second game took it out of me.
I mean, it's definitely a tough one. I mean, that's a big point too. I mean, what is the difference when you have to play these extremely long games that require you to be on point the entire step of the way? You can't afford any mistakes in those at all. I mean, that has to be a big point for you.
Mention that game, I was counting my damage the entire time. I knew the last 8 cards in his hand, and I pretty much had to set up exact lethal with a Frost Nova Sheep. Yeah.
Can you talk to us a little bit more about that game? Because a lot of people say that matchup is as close to an unwinnable matchup as you can get in Hearthstone. Freeze Mage versus Warrior, especially if they have shield block in their deck. But we saw you play very aggressively there, and I know that you feel it's not as bad.
So he was going on the fatigue plan, and I read that pretty early. So if I waited on Alex so as soon as I do the Alex on him, he's going to go off with his last war song and his frothing. And I don't want him to do anything, really. I just want to keep passing turns. So that's why I was fireballing faces until he had no more armor. So I held the Alex. I can't not Alex him in that situation because he's just going to wait till I'm about 15 or so from fatigue damage, and he's just going to kill me or put me like to 4 or 5 from fatigue. And he's going to pop me like that. Well, it's going to pop on my turn, and I'm going to die. So I just waited as long as I could, doing nothing, so he wouldn't do anything, pretty much. The key points in that game were probably around turn 7 or 8. I was holding Arcane Intellect and Acolyte Pain, and as soon as he got 1 card ahead of me, I didn't draw another card for the rest of the game, just to be behind in fatigue.
Wow, just what an incredible match. And then your next matchup, of course, you're not quite clinched for the playoffs just yet. A little bit more work to have done. But your next match is versus RDU, who has a fantastic resume as far as Hearthstone is concerned. Are you at all worried about this matchup? Are you feeling confident? Because RDU came into HPL. He said that he was going to make the playoffs, and then once there, was the favorite to win the whole thing.
Yeah, I'll watch out for Aggro Paladin.
That's really the only thing you're worried about from RDU is Aggro Paladin?
I lose to Aggro Paladin probably more than any player in the world. Yeah, I'm worried about Aggro Paladin.
Well, it's part of what happens when you play just about more than any player in the world as well. Purple, you're looking great for this season. I think one more win is going to put you over the top for this one. And Ek0p, it was a tough series, but you're able to steal a game of that Freeze Mage and then win the series from there. Congratulations on your win tonight.
Thank you.